and welcome back to another episode of Survivor Hot Takes. Coach Drew, Emily, here to discuss the last episode of Survivor 43, which happened a week ago. I was able to go to Boston for a live showing of the episode.
Was it like the best day of your life? You got to see so many cool people.
It was fun. I mean, you go to enough of these events, it's kind of like, it's fun. It's more fun to be around other Survivor fans and watch it among people that
have the same affinity for the show.
Yeah, they're nerding out just like you. So that's really where my fun comes from, and like the alcohol, but like, and we're gonna talk about the episode, but I do want to touch on at some point this growing, discourse for the season. I think Eliza on last Wednesday straight up said it's the worst season ever, and it's like, okay. People keep on forgetting that Thailand, Island of the Idols, Worlds Apart, Redemption Island, all these seasons actually exist. And I feel like they're just going crazy with that, using that terminology.
Yeah, and I think that it's like the challenge with seasons now is like Survivor is so focused on bringing in all these super fans, which like sounds amazing, but because they have so much knowledge about the game, a lot of them know exactly how to stay under the radar to really hold these advantages until they have the capacity to really let them pop off and use them to their full extent, So it's like it's just a waiting game right now. I think that like once we I think this episode or that we're going to see in the next few hours is going to be like the defining episode of the season because it's really going to mend a few of those cracks. And I think that this is going to be the going to push everyone to actually use their advantages that we've been waiting on since day freaking one.
We could hope so. And I do agree with you that, when you continue to cast all of these, when you continue to cast, nothing but super fans, yes, people kind of play the long game because everyone comes into this game now knowing how to play, and so they're all basically using the same formula as compared to when you had older seasons where you had a mixture of recruits and super fans, or even seasons where you just had fans. You just had people that understood the basic concept of the game and did whatever they needed to win. I do agree with you that with this season, it does feel like everyone is just kind of walking on eggshells. They all have their reasoning for it. It's not like anyone is scared. I think that they all have their actual reasoning and think that they could pull something off. It's just that it becomes very boring television for a lot of folks watching because it's not all these crazy moves that they've been accustomed to seeing over the last 100 years.
All I want in this world, like my biggest wish, my biggest dream is just have a season full of Gablers. I don't even know how they would call it. Like,
please, no, it just
Gabler Palooza.
We could not have that.
It would be. Could you imagine the entertainment value? Like this man has single-handedly carried the game in terms of entertainment. You can't tell me I'm wrong.
That's not true. That's not true.
Who's more entertaining than Gabler in this season? Give me a name.
Well, you said single-handedly. That's saying that he's the only person that people are tuning in to watch.
In terms of entertainment, yes.
No.
Who's more entertaining than Gabler?
I feel like Ellie was very entertaining. Yeah. I do.
But why? Was it because Gabler also carried her through it?
I enjoyed their rivalry that wasn't really, I enjoy Carla.
She's pretty good.
I don't think that it's the Gabler show. I don't think this is where we're going right now, and I hope it's not where we're going. Yes,
Josh, do not lie to me. What do you mean?
No, like I said last week, I do like Gabler, but I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop as far as I feel like he's going to go down Jonathan territory at some point this season.
This might be his farewell episode, but I'm going to just be cherishing every single moment until his bitter end,
So besides that, why do you think that so many people are starting to it seems like they've always hated the season,
Yeah.
Why do you think, based off of what I'm seeing, it's a mixture of.
I'm sick of them voting out all women.
I've seen that. I've seen people thinking, No one's making any big moves. People from the other side of things are saying it's too woke, which at this point is just crazy because first of all, there's nothing woke going on the show, but two, I feel like woke for a lot of those folks just mean diverse. For me, optics wise, I don't enjoy watching. I don't enjoy seeing people bash this show. From my side of the political spectrum, mainly because I immediately just put them in the same camp as the people on the other side that are bashing it for a totally different reason. That's just, that's on me, but that's how I'm putting everyone in the same camp right now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And I think that Kim's also bringing up a really excellent point in the chat here. Hey, Kim, love you. She brought up a really good point that like a lot of other seasons we've had like a clear villain or just the people to give us that ability to root against. But because Survivor's now enrooted all these like beautiful backstories for all these people, I'm like, how could I root against any of these people? They've all overcome so much and I'm obsessed with every single one of them, So it doesn't give you as much traction, in terms of like the depth of the game. So I don't know. I think that for me, I think it's a little bit of what Kim's saying. I think that it's also like I also, for me, again, as a super fan, the other challenge is like how they're editing it to make you think who's going to be getting voted out. Like for me, like obviously like Janine made sense for her to be voted out. I don't think that this episode in particular, but like, Dwight's like departure, like it was like a 1 second comment. At least it felt like to me. And that happened, I think like 2 or 3 other times I was like, what, they're like Mariah, like whenever Mariah got sent home, I was also completely shocked by that because there was no context, So I think that it's a little bit like on the editing game and it's also like, giving not as much depth to kind of facilitate what those big moves actually look like, I don't think it's the worst season ever. I'm still excited about it, but it's not
crazy that they're using worst season ever for this season when once again, it's like these people just forget that Isle of the Idols, Thailand, Island, Worlds Apart. They forget all of these seasons actually exist and are actually just inherently they're just bad. This one, I kind of just say, okay, yeah, it's a season. It happens. It's fine. I have no qualms with it. This past episode, I'm so glad that I was among other Survivor fans because I just watched by myself. I probably would have been really bored.
Yeah.
Like actually being around fans added suspense to what was going to happen because everyone was actually sitting there on their toes wondering if it was going to be if it was going to be a red herring, if it was a red herring that Janine was going and it could be somebody else.
She would have been like, it would have been a brilliant underdog story though. The way they edited her was like put her in the exact perfect position to be someone that I was like really rooting for to make it to the end. So it was very disappointing to watch her go home this week,
Yeah, and I'm like you said, I'm hoping that this episode tonight can kind of right the ship as far as first of all, putting all the doubters, just giving them a week off, but also just be fun. It's a double boot episode. This is the episode that everyone's been waiting for all season. I don't really like the way that they do it, but people have been waiting for a double boot episode all season. So I'm hoping that it can deliver at least one blind side. You get 2 chances to give us one blind side tonight.
Absolutely. And like this is also the point where I think the other qualm that a lot of people have is like it's kind of teetering on like that old school territory, where it's like the majority is going to stay the same from the merge and we're just going to boot every other person out, and that's just like not the structure and the expectation of new school Survivor, So I think that's probably why people are kind of like iffy. But because we have this double merge or this double boot, what am I saying? This double boot, I think that might kind of facilitate and change what that core 7 looks like. Because would you rather be at the bottom of the 7 or would you rather try to take that chance to be able to make a new break of it, Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm excited.
This is the chance to do it. So going back, all of that to say, going back to this most recent episode, yes, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Like I said, I do agree that, being around people made it a lot more interesting, but there were still moments in the episode that I really enjoyed. And starting off with the Jesse reveal at the beginning of the episode, which the entire bar popped for, to use wrestling terms.
Wow.
It popped. Yeah, everyone lost their minds when Jesse had the idol and was loud in there for about a minute and a half, so you couldn't hear anything that was going on once he showed it. So I have to go back and actually watch it again to figure out what was being said. But everyone really, I feel like everyone is really in the Jesse, Carla camps right now. I feel like those are the two front runners for a lot. Oh, and Owen are the three people that a lot of people are pulling for. And, for me, they're fine, and I would be cool with any of them winning. I'm still in the James camp.
Oh, really?
Bring it home for. Oh yeah, once Ellie left, it hasn't you have to bring it home. I'm back on that train now. I want it to come home again.
Sorry, we have a little Survivor fan who wants to join us.
So, what did you think?
I feel like they edited it pretty well. I think that was the only really gasp moment of the entire episode. So I mean, for it to start off with that, brilliant. I think that was at least something that kind of kept people on their toes. I'm very excited for Jesse. I'm shocked that because now does he have 2 idols now? Is that true? Oh, go Jesse, man. He's just killing it. And he also socially is in a really, really good position, So I don't know. I think that I really like the edit. Did you also feel the same way?
Oh yeah. I love when they can do that. It's very similar to the
more Australian, right?
Oh no. I'm thinking 41. Who was the last person to get the
Naseer?
Naseer. Yeah, it played almost like the Naseer moment in 41, where editing did not give anything away, and then all of a sudden, wow, Naseer actually has the idol. He said the phrase. All of them are active.
Confused as a goat on AstroTurf. What a slime minx! Blew my mind.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm glad that someone agrees with me, and I guess you too. You don't hate it either. But I did like that, and I think you're right. This probably was the biggest moment of the episode. It just sucks that it happened in the first 10 minutes. And then from there, we get regular merch stuff. It looks like Owen could potentially be the this episode's the one where it's like, oh yeah, I guess it's Owen that's going. Oh, I guess not, because it's really going to be Janine. And we get more of Owen's backstory, which that was another thing that the internet really latched on to too, like in a positive way. Thank goodness. And I like Owen, and I'm glad to see that he's doing well on the season.
I swear to you, Andrew, I thought that was going to be like his swan song. The second they started playing his backstory, I said, "Oh my God, no!" But it actually helped to promote the fact that he won the challenge, which was amazing. Oh man, yeah, warm my little heart.
Oh my gosh. But once again, it's like I feel like there's a disconnect between what these people are saying online and then they'll say, oh yeah, I enjoy getting people's backstories, this, that, and the other. Oh, but I hate this season. And it's like, well, that's really, I feel like the most of the content that we are getting is these backstories of these people. So you feel like, I feel like if they were to take anything away for the season to be good for these fans, it would be the backstories. And then they're going to find another reason to complain about. I was on their side when they were complaining about these advantages, like some of these crazier advantages they've been introduced in this new age. They've gotten rid of those. And now it's, well, we hate these backstories. Well, and then the next is going to be, we want villains. And I get that. Like I'd be happy if we had a villain. I think that Ellie was setting herself up to be a potential villain. Sometimes we just don't have anyone that we can hate. And I said this weeks ago when I said, when you give us all, like if you give us all backstories for everyone, it gives us reason to like them, or at least understand their motivations. And it makes us less likely to want to hate someone on a season. Sure. And I think, and even people like Gabler, where I do feel like Gabler probably has skeletons, but we've only been shown these positive things, so of course we're going to want to root for this guy. I did not realize that Carla was getting hate. I didn't know she was getting a lot. Yeah, I'm in the wrong section of Twitter then, because everyone I know loves Carla.
Yeah, I think that like in terms of popularity, on that Facebook group, if anyone else here is listening and you just kind of need like a Facebook group that's like not like crazy and like scary, I highly recommend The Tribe Has Spoken. That's a really, really good one. You recommend that one to me, Andrew. But that one, they actually have like a ton of charts to kind of like project like who they think the winner is based on like screen time, popularity, whatever. And hers is like skyrocketed from the start, and it's like plateaued. Your buddy James is actually one of the only ones that's actually completely downfall, you know, and which like is very surprising, you know.
Yeah, because James has been in the mix for the last like 2 or 3 episodes, as far as like he, you know, even if he's not getting votes necessarily, it's him being involved in a big way with a lot of it, and so I that is surprising. But
can I ask you something as well with James? Like, while we're on the topic, like, why do you think that they haven't voted him out, knowing that he has the knowledge is power advantage? Like, everyone knows he has it now, right? Or almost everyone.
Yeah.
Like, so why isn't that like the complete compass of like just complete like black and white? We have to get this guy out. It's a huge threat.
And I know I said this like 2 minutes ago about me rooting for James, but I'm afraid it might be the Xander type thing from 41, where everyone knows that Xander has an idol, but really don't care. Like it's fun. Xander can have his idol. That's how I'm thinking, at least. I hope not, because that means that James would have no chance. But you know, maybe they're just biding their time to get rid of him, lull him to a false sense of security, and then get him out of the game. And that's why this whole, this double boot episode, I feel like is really going to make or break this season. Like, I do feel like if this episode shits the bed for people, then people are like, we're going to get more discourse about how this is the worst season ever. And I can't believe that this is where Survivor has gone to. And once again, I'll just have to kind of sit there and bite my lip. It's like, okay, are you rewatching the same thing? Like, yes, I'm bored. Yes, it's fine, but I don't have the hatred that I did 3 months ago watching Isle of the Idols, Thailand, Worlds Apart, Redemption Island. Like,
you leave Redemption Island out of this. Keep on going.
I don't feel that way watching this. I feel what I felt for. I don't know. I can't even think of a season
like, just like a lukewarm season.
Yeah, like 41.
Yeah. I honestly, for 41 though, for me, it just felt different because we hadn't had a new season in so long. So I was like into it, but I feel like because like the novelty's kind of worn off a little bit. For me, it's not as exciting as it used to be, especially whenever you transition from a season from 42 and like just brilliant, like all around brilliant casting, brilliant editing, like a really incredible winner that everyone was rooting for, but didn't expect to win at the start. At least you would say that for a few people. So like, moving that transition from 42 to 43, I think it's just a lot more complex, Yeah,
absolutely. So where are we at now?
So we got to 0-1, and now I guess we're just transitioning now into about like there's nothing else more chaotic besides Ryan being the other goat.
He's adorable, and I don't mean that to be super condescending. I guess me saying that sometimes rubs people the wrong way, and I don't mean it for it to be that way. I don't mean it to be condescending, but he's fun. He's just so.
I would die to keep him in the game just to watch him fish and be so happy. Like
and because that's basically just been his character ever since Gio went home. Mm-hmm. That's what he's been. he's thinking he's at the top, and all of a sudden no, and now. And yes, and the least surprising boot of the season, Janine goes home. I think that anyone that was surprised by it was just hoping that someone would pull something off. And, I do agree. And I know there's a lot of anger at the fact that so many women are going home. And as someone that plays orgs and LRGs where his main strategy is POCs and women, I can see where people would be annoyed by that, or POCs and women staying.
Yeah.
Right. I can see where people would be annoyed by it, but I don't think that's being done on purpose. And I feel like a lot of people are like trying to promote it as if it's being done on purpose. They're purposely trying to get all these women. It's like I really don't think so. I honestly do feel like people are voting out, except for Janine, they're voting out people that they most feel threatened by. Oh, Janine and Mariah. Mm-hmm. That Mariah thing still doesn't make any sense. I think that, but do you feel, as a woman, do you feel targeted?
Well, let me speak on behalf of my people.
As the president of women.
I I think that a lot of the times, like the sad fact is like it's just that the women have been in the minority, and it's really disheartening that almost every tribe of women tried to stay together, and for whatever reason, like they screwed the pooch and like that slipped through the bag. I think that I agree with you. I think that for a lot of the reasons there were specific agendas that wasn't like explicitly something behind gender, obviously, but that's a lot of the time what discrimination is about. It's that unconscious bias. You see something that you see in other. But the Jeanine one was just like, I just feel like there was no reason that they would all vote her out. Like there was no reason. She had nothing. Everyone knew that she had absolutely nothing. And it would have been so smart to be able to keep her in the game and utilize her as an asset to kind of help. Sammy had the perfect plan that if he just chose to make that big move right there, he could have broken up that core 7 and really been able to create a really solid pathway for himself,
Yeah.
So I don't know if that makes sense. I just feel that while it's not like conscious, I think there's some pieces that may be a little more subconscious,
So the cast is sex. I'm Flynn.
Yeah.
No, I do agree that it might be unconscious. It might just be
just hidden agendas. Yeah, right. I mean,
Yeah.
which not associated.
We're not seeing everything once again. But just a couple of these boots have just not made any type of sense. Based off of what we're seeing, if you're being told and you're being fed that Jeanine is on the bottom for the last 2 episodes, and then the episode where she is next in line and she just goes, it sucks, and it's fun in an old school, at least for me, it's fun in an old school season because I love the old school seasons, but now it's just kind of like, all right, yeah, it's maybe because it's an HD and like it's different now, but it sucked. But now we're down to 10. And what are we thinking happens tonight?
Oh, I don't know. I'm so stressed out about it because, as you know, Cassidy is my winner pick, and I'm stressed that I don't know. I mean,
based off how this is going,
I'm scared. I'm scared for women everywhere right now. I'm scared that we're gonna lose. I feel like if we're cut in half, you always have to kind of focus on who's at the bottom because those are the people who are the most likely to just go home if there's one of them, and the other ones can kind of gang up. So unfortunately, I have to look at both Noelle and Cassie. I think that Carla's in a really good spot, that she's going to be all right. Gabler, bless his heart, I hope he makes it. I don't know. It doesn't look good for him either. I don't know. What do you think? Who are you thinking is going to go home?
I mean, based off of how the season has gone,
mm-hmm.
It's very likely that Cassidy will go next because she's on the bottom now because she's the only one with Jeanine.
She's my winner pick, bestie. Don't tell me that.
But I think she has 2 things going for her. One, the tribes are going to be split. And going off of that, people are going to be paranoid and might decide to use advantages to get rid of other people's advantages. And I'm fairly certain she has nothing, right?
She has nothing. Yeah.
So then I think that, yes, the fact that the tribe will be split 5-5 and people might want to target other folks that have advantages, she might be safe because people are going to take this as a moment to make a move, especially because the 7, they're going to be split up somehow. And there's going to be a situation where more than likely 5 of that 7 are going to be in one group.
Mm-hmm. So we have the 7, okay, like those core 7. So we have if we take apart the 7, we have 3 who are not associated with the 7, right? So we have Gabler, we have Owen, and we have who else is on the bottom that I'm not thinking of right now. Gabler, Owen, and would you say Sammy? Is Sammy also? Let us know in the call. Yeah, I don't know. But if we have those 3, okay, let's just say hypothetically those are the 3, right? Who out of those 3 do you believe is on the bottom of the bottom of the bottom now?
Gabler. But yeah, okay. They're different.
Noelle. Thank you, Jay.
I still think that Gabler would be at the bottom of that 3 anyway, because there's no he doesn't have anyone there that he can relate to. And I mean, it is what it is. I keep teetering on if I'm actually a Gabler person or not, but it is what it is. He has no one that he can really latch on to as far as like let's
Right.
do this thing. And based off how the season is going, if someone doesn't have something they can relate to with another person, they just kind of go.
Right.
So I would say that Gabler in that situation would be next. But I still think that based off of the fact that people on the bottom have just continually been picked off this season, Cassidy would be next.
Yeah.
I'm not a Gabler enabler. This week, that could change. Like
it's gonna change for you by 9 p.m. today. I'm calling.
Yeah, I think that until he does something that like really puts me over the edge, positive or negative, I'm just always going to be like, oh yeah, Gabler's fine. Like I enjoy him. He's cute. Like cute and like a, you know what I mean. But besides that, yeah, I'm anxious, I guess, for this tonight's episode.
I think it'll be good.
But I think that it will be good. I can finally actually like watch Survivor now because rugby season's over.
And you're gonna watch it live?
I'll be at a bar, so I might watch it on mute. But I'll be watching it, and then I'll watch it when I get home.
So I can text you about it, like live.
You can text me about it. Yeah, you can text me about
it. How exciting! Wow, what a moment! What a day!
Yes, rugby season is over, so I have nothing but time now.
Yay! Sports.
If you have nothing, we can bounce. Thank you all for continuing to tune in. We'll be back once again at some point between now and next week's episode. And now that I have more free time, hopefully, not Gabler. We're not doing that. I'm not even put that on the screen. I guess we could answer that.
Yeah, we can answer that. Do you? I think that's great. Like March 1st.
Well, the conspiracy theory is they're promoting 44 now because
of how bad
everyone hates 43. I just think it's just they're promoting 44. I don't think there's any type of ulterior motive other than, hey, we've got a date, like, start looking forward to it. I don't think they're trying to bury 43.
I don't think they're trying to bury. I mean, I will say that that the one episode of 43, the one where the merge episode was the lowest streaming episode ever in Survivor history. So it might be a little bit more prompted, just because it hasn't been as popular. So maybe, but like, I think that I will give anything to see more videos of Jeff Probst. I don't care. He could send me a video just saying, have a great day. I would be grateful. So no big deal.
Everyone's out here proving Russell Hantz right. But all right, thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you all on the other side.
Bye, guys.